So I'm out the back in the cabin in my back garden, and right opposite, like you just saw, all my bird feeders. Now I feed peanut, suet balls, a mixed bird food with no wheat in it. It's got no wheat at all in it, and Niger seeds and sunflower hearts. I feed those items. Believe it or not, in my back garden, in sort of suburbia, I get about 27 different species of bird. 27 different species of bird in my back garden, and hopefully today we get some nice shots. I've got the 90D on my tripod. I've got my 100 to 400 L series Canon lens that I've got right out at 400mm. It's got a 1.4 converter on it as well, so it goes, it's with a crop sensor, it goes quite a distance, over 600mm I think, if I remember rightly. I've got the MH Pro 3W head on, which is you can adjust the pitch and the turn, if you can see that, quite nice and slowly. It's got sort of friction, these little dials here, you can adjust it so the friction is really nice and solid, so you can move it up and down, backwards and forwards. So with a ball head, if you was to have your camera set up like this and you try to loosen off your ball head, okay, your camera will just go slap or back or wherever the heaviest part is. So I quite like this little setup. I haven't got a gimbal. Now, I'm really seriously thinking about getting a gimbal. I've seen Park Cameras have got one for me. They said they'd sort me one out, so I'm going to have a little word with them. Now I've got goldfinch. Got a goldfinch out on my feeders, so I'm going to take photographs as and when they come up. I'll take photographs as and when they present themselves to me. So if I pause, I'm going to cut, so I'll be snapping away. I just thought I'd bring you down here to do a bit of bird watching. You ain't got to go miles away, you can just put some bird feeders up in your garden and the birds will come. It'll take a bit of time, and positioning your bird feeders well will increase your chances of getting birds in your garden. So where you want to position them is somewhere where they feel comfortable going to. So on the opposite side of my fence is private land and a bit of a gap, and then there's some trees and shrubs and bushes opposite. So that gives the birds the opportunity to come in and scope out the area to make sure there's no predators about. So they'll sit in those bushes over there until they feel comfortable, and then they'll fly in. And now the tree that I've got my bird feeders in, I planted many years ago, and all it is a crack willow. So basically I cut a branch of a crack willow off, stuffed it in the ground where I wanted to eventually have my bird feeders, and hey presto, 10 years later I've got a bird feeder hanger. I'm not suggesting you leave it that long yourself. You can also put a bird box or one of these wrought iron hangers on and put your bird feeders on that, but it makes for quite an interesting evening. Now you can just basically make yourself a little hide up in your back garden, but sooner or later the birds will get used to it. I mean, the birds are flying in here nicely, they're not taking any notice of me. Mostly they're great tits and blue tits that have fledged probably from my back garden, because I've got a couple of bird boxes. So I've had quite a few clutches of blue tits and great tits come out of my garden. So I presume that some of these probably are the ones that have fledged from my garden, and they're pretty used to me now. I mean, this morning I've had in the garden, I've had so far, I've had a great spotted woodpecker, I've had 4 ringneck parakeets, I've had coal tits, blue tits, great tits, long tail tits, chaffinches, hedge sparrows, pigeons, collared dove, some starlings, and a robin. It's just there. And Robin, and they're all quite used to me. I'm just sitting in the shed really. I'll just turn you around to show you where I'm sitting. I'm just sitting in there looking out towards my house there. So I'll get my wildlife fix while I'm at home. So as I say, if you feed them they'll come. So don't be disappointed if you first put your feeders out. Don't be disappointed if you put your feeders out to start with and nothing comes at all, because they'll be watching. They'll fly backwards and forwards. As soon as you get a few come, to your garden, they'll start coming along. I've got the ringneck parakeets out here at the moment. As soon as they come down, everything goes. They're quite an aggressive bird. So at the moment, my settings on my camera, I've got them. Let's just wake her up. So I'm down to f8. The unfortunate thing with this crop sensor is that my camera lens will only drop down to f8 because I've got that extender on there, so it doesn't go down too good a light. I have to up the ISO quite a lot to get it down. My 5D Mark IV is perfect for this sort of thing, but it doesn't get the reach that my crop does. But I've got it on 1/1600th of a second because I want to get some birds in flight. I want to get the wing, see if I can stop that motion, get some nice birds in flight, which takes lots of photographs to get the perfect one. And on this 90D I've got my ISO in auto, which is quite handy because you haven't got to keep mucking around checking out whether so as I said, I'm just going to keep snapping away really. Just thought I'd bring you out here for a little visit into the cabin. Again, I've got a lot of bird food out. I keep it out there all the time during the winter, and pretty much all the way through the summertime while I'm about. Also, I give them plenty of water as well, especially when everything starts to freeze, because they struggle finding the water. I'm not too bad around here because I'm on a fen land, so there's quite a lot of standing water about, puddles, etc. And the farmers' vehicles go through, so they break the puddles, so they get to feed. But seed-eating birds can't be too far away from water, which is a good desert survival tip. If you see seed-eating birds in a desert, they're generally not too far away from water. So just watch the direction of flight. They're either flying to food or flying to water. Now try not to chimp too much. Chimping. So basically chimping is taking a photograph, checking it. Taking a photograph, checking it. That's what they call chimping. So there comes a wood pigeon. So I try not to do that too much. I try to just keep snapping away, because as soon as you turn your camera down, and I've been there, done it quite a lot, as soon as you turn your camera around to have a look at the picture you've just taken, something like a golden eagle will land on your bird feeder. maybe not. Might do upscone, but something nice will probably land on your bird feeder now. To stop that happening, just keep taking photographs. Wait till you get home. Check them at home. They're still going to be on your camera. Hear that squeak? That'll be the ringneck parakeet. I've got a bit of footage earlier on of them, so I'll put that in now. You can check that out. It's nice, doesn't matter how big your garden is. I mean, my main part of my garden's shrunk considerably after I've had this cabin built. But I actually live in the middle of a lot of farmers' fields, so it's not so bad. So I've got a lot of space around me. The camera strap I use, if you're interested, is an Optec USA. I quite like this camera strap because it allows you to unclip the paddy portion, and I'll clip that away, and I can tuck that away out of the way of my camera when I'm taking photographs. So that's very handy, but I'm always belt and braces with my cameras. I don't particularly want to drop one, so camera that is. So I've got it on my chest harness, I've got a safety strap attached to it as well, and usually this around my neck. Yeah, birds are flying backwards and forwards. Mostly the blues and the grey tits. Just had two ringneck parakeets land right in front of me. Now I'm going to try to reach out and grab the camera that I'm recording on without spooking them, which is going to prove not too easy. And they're looking at me, but they're pretty used to me here. So I'm just going to flip you around for a second. No, they've gone. They've gone. I did get a photograph. Let's do a bit of chimping. I did get a photograph of him. Looking right at me. The problem, they're beautiful birds, beautiful, but they're an invasive species. And they are breeding like rabbits. There's a lot of them about. I believe they've been put on a general licence now, so you can shoot them legally with a licence, I believe. But I can imagine in 20 years' time around here, fruit farms be decimated. It went from a couple to a couple of pairs. I've had almost 30 in my back garden at once. Which is a few ringneck parakeets, but again, they are pretty, and we let them out. What I like about this 90D as well, this 90D as well is the focusing point. It's really precise. It gets you right through branches, which is very good for taking pictures of birds. Little robin. I do love a robin. I was watching something, another YouTube channel, Bird Matters I think it's called. It's a South African channel. Here they come again. And this particular woman had a crane. I can't remember what species it was, but a crane had come in and she got a photograph of it with his wings out. Beautiful red skin on the inside of its wings, beautiful plumage, big long beak, long legs, and it was coming into land. And she said, I don't usually take photographs of these because they're quite a common bird. Now that sort of saddened me a little bit, because we call them common garden birds. Take a close look at a starling's plumage. I'll put a picture up and see how beautiful that is. A blue tit, beautiful looking bird. Great tits, beautiful. All birds in their own way are very beautiful, and you don't need to go a million miles to watch them. They're very therapeutic. Very therapeutic to watch. So if you're in a bad mood, or you're poorly, or ill, disabled, elderly, and you can't have a pet, feed the birds. If I was to say that, my other half would be going, feed the birds, twopence a bag. Twopence, twopence, twopence a bag. For the next hour. Doesn't cost a lot to feed the birds and bring them into your garden. Years ago we used to save up the beef fat from our Sunday roasts, bacon rind, chop it up, you know, anything like that. But I spend many hours at my kitchen window looking out at my birds. It's good for the soul. Nature is a great healer. Very therapeutic. And a great deal of my friends would tell you that as well. There's a little robin. There's a little robin and some house sparrows out there. House sparrows really took a tumble. Really did a while ago. Their numbers decreased because of the feeding situation and the urban sprawl. I think we're making a comeback. I've got loads of them in my garden, in the hedgerows around, as well as dunnocks, hedge sparrows. See a lot of those. Parakeets again. Anyway, I thought I'd bring you out here just for a little look, just for a little snippet of what I do sometimes. Checking out the birds in my garden with my camera. You haven't even got to take your camera, you can just sit here and watch them. It's very nice. So it doesn't matter whether you've got your mobile phone camera, a little point and shoot, a rig like this, a pair of binoculars, or just your eyes. We've all got nature around us, even in cities. So I hope you enjoyed this little chat, little bit of garden bird watching. It's nice to chill out sometimes, isn't it? Anyway, keep taking photographs, see what I get, and I'll put them up at the end of this video. So again, if you enjoyed this little ramble that I'm doing, this little rambling chat, please subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up. Watch my other ones. I'm getting there. Watch my other videos. Hope it gives you a brief bit of entertainment. And I'll see you again soon. Look after yourselves, eh? Laters.